Welcome to Pure Golf Training, 7-lesson series on the 5 laws of impact, and this is lesson 6 on speed. In the previous lessons we've covered laws of face, of path, of angle of attack and of centeredness of hit. Now I don't want you to jump to the gun and get straight onto speed because you just want to hit the ball further. Unless you've got the first 4 laws working for you consistently in your golf swing, it is dangerous to try and add extra speed. Think of it as if you were a race car driver or you're on a push bike. Okay, until you learn the correct technique, you don't want to start going around corners too fast. You keep on going around those corners until you develop the correct technique, good balance, good control, and as you get better at it, you increase the speed. There is no point me jumping in a race car and trying to go 200 miles an hour around a corner. I haven't got any technique, any control, I'm just going to hit the wall. And this is what happens to most golfers when they try to develop speed to hit the ball further before their technique is really ready for it. If you make solid contact with a square face down the line, the ball will go as far as it needs to go most times anyway. So we're only adding that little bit extra at the end. And the idea of developing further speed is ultimately so you can back off and play at about 80% power, which in turn gives you more control. Okay, so assuming we've worked really hard and we've got all the other 4 laws of impact working for us, we're now going to develop speed. Now this is my favourite drill and I've used this with many golfers. I've had several pupils in their 50s, mid-50s, and their body starts to tighten up and slow down a bit. Most of the week they're office bound and they come along and they say, I can't reach par 4s in 2 anymore. Now these guys and girls used to be good players, but they're still making good contact, but they haven't got enough speed to get to the par 4s in 2 anymore. And what that's doing is putting a lot of pressure on their short game, and the handicap starts to go out. Now the good news is it's not too late for you. The first thing that I do, and this is the way I do it, is I use a speed stick. Now the first thing I want to do is find out what somebody's maximum speed is, because then we've got a maximum speed, we've got an assessment. Now we can set a goal and put a program in place to start to increase that speed. So what I get people to do is have 3 swings, 1, 2, and then on the 3rd one, swing it as fast as they possibly can, and then we get our speed reading. Now obviously there's something wrong with this speed stick because it just said I'm 140 mile an hour, which I'm pretty excited about. Got to go play some golf. But unfortunately this one I think just got stuck. So what we want to do is, once we know what your starting speed is, then we've got a goal. Now one of my students recently, or about 12 months ago now, his starting speed was about 90 mile an hour. He was a 4 handicap, still a good player, but playing at a golf course that has long par 4s and really having to struggle to play to his handicap. He said, I'm serious about giving this game up if I can't start to reach the par 4s again. That's how frustrating it was for him. He was about 90 mile an hour in his mid-50s, and he said, well, how could I possibly get better at my age? Now, what I did was I started him on this program, and this is called an overload-underload program, where it creates a neuromuscular effect and also does increase the strength and the ultimate power in the golf swing. But now, about 12 months later, his average speed's about 105 mile an hour and he's picked up 20 to 25 yards off the tee. There is many of these real stories. It's never too late to improve your speed. Now, of course, this type of training with a young person, male or female, obviously they can increase their power with this drill as well. This is a club kite. Now what this does is it creates what's called relative resistance. I don't like weighted clubs. In fact, weighted clubs ruin golf swings. Think about it this way. If you swing club back to here, the weight of the club is trying to pull your arms down this way. So your arms now have to do this to keep the club on plane. Take the weighted club away and there's a good chance that you've actually ruined the path of your backswing or your downswing. Relative resistance, this is very, very light. It weighs virtually nothing. As I swing forward, it creates wind resistance in the exact opposite direction of the force that I'm trying to apply. Relative resistance is the safest way to do resistance training. Now, I'm going to have 3 swings with this, and on the 3rd swing, I'm going to swing it as fast as I can. And what's happened now is my brain is supplying the energy required that resistance is putting up. So now I'm going to pick up the golf club and I'm going to hold it upside down and I'm going to have 3 swings. Now the first one you won't feel like you've got anything. where I can really zip that thing through. And then on the third swing, zip it through as fast as I can. It will be moving faster because of this neuromuscular effect. My brain is anticipating the resistance, it's not there, so it's still supplying the energy to create that speed. Now, without thinking about it at all, set up and just hit the golf ball. We don't really want any target with this, because target slows us down, we tighten up and we start to try and steal it. With this is just like standing on a cliff top with the ocean in front of you. All you've got to do is hit it out into the ocean. There's no real target, it's just purely about developing speed. So overload through relative resistance. After doing the assessment first of all, then your 3 swings upside down, then hit some golf shots. Then at the end of this session, I want you to do another 3 with resistance, then grab the speed stick, and I guarantee on the very first session you will have picked up about 5 miles an hour on what you thought was actually going to be your maximum speed at the start of the session. So that's how we develop speed. There's other ways of doing it, but this is a way that you can do it at home with some simple devices that are readily available. Pick up some speed, but please focus on face, path, angle of attack and centeredness of hit before you go ahead and do that. Good luck with that. Hope you start to bust it out there, Miles.